Hi, my name is Zoha Khan. I am a 3D fashion designer and fashion illustrator. I've been working in this field for some time now. I started with fashion illustrations, and it was a field that not a lot of people want to get into because it does not really pay well, to be honest. But it is something that really excited me. I was doing my degree, which is fashion marketing and merchandising from PIFT. It was around my third year when I realized that this is something that I really wanted to get into. And I started with like a little page on Instagram, and I was like, let's just, let's post and see what's the response. And it was a really nice response from, different brands, local brands at that time. And I realized there was a scope for that. At that time, it was not a really fancy job, you could say, but it was something that really brought me joy. So I continued it. I was doing my thesis. It was my fourth year, and I got hired as a 3D fashion designer at Lulu Sir. And that was the point when, I discovered that I could link my fashion illustrations to, a 3D point of view. And that was really interesting to me because it was very new at that time. So when I talk about 3D designing, it was done mostly on the software called Clo 3D. So what it does is that it skips the sampling part, and we can, directly go ahead with the production. So we did make patterns on that. We also did, the shoot on Clo as well. So it reduces the cost, it reduces the time, and we're also, the pattern is so accurate that you can just go ahead with the printing. So that was really fascinating to me. And when I was doing my job, I also explored print design a little. So I did make some textile prints, and those were bestsellers. I realized that there's so much more that I could do. And that was my time when I thought that I think I need to grow more professionally and personally. So 1.5 years forward, I resigned from my job, and I started working under my name as a solo artist. When I resigned, I had this wonderful opportunity to represent Pakistan as an artist. I collaborated with Swatch. It was a limited edition collection which was displayed in Dubai Expo 2020. It was displayed for 1 month, and it was pretty cool, to not know where this path would lead me. But then I had these, big opportunities just ahead of me, and, it was pretty cool. So I just, continued. I did some illustrations, and they were, noticed by brands like Gucci, PH5, Delcore, and I was really, it filled me with pride. It was a new experience for me. I feel like when people think about getting into fields which are not really per se, people don't really know about them, there's not enough scope, like that's what they think. But there is a lot of scope in the fields, the untouched fields, and I feel like we really need to increase our knowledge about them because there are less competitors, and you could, there's more chance to ace those fields compared to the ones that are more mainstream. I think that is what I would say was, the main success for me as an artist and a designer. What I would say, what I would recommend young designers and artists would be that you should keep a lookout on the people that you are inspired by. You don't know what would click. Like, it could be a crazy idea at that moment. You could be a videographer and looking at, I don't know, TikTok, and you could get, inspiration for transitions. You could be a chef, and you could just, listen to someone's story and be inspired by it, and, cook a dish that represents that story. So there's so many possibilities to fields that we don't, look differently at. Fashion illustrations is, the basic definition of it would be that you draw the vision of the designer. That's the definition of it. But when you look at it more closely, there are more possibilities to it. You could sit in runway shows, and you could do runway sketches for designers. So that way you'd be launching something that has not even been captured by the pictures yet, because the pictures need to be approved by the brands to be launched at websites. But as a fashion illustrator, you could just illustrate them in like 20-15 minutes. You time yourself, you learn that, and then you could just post them on social media. So that's quicker, and you get to know the trends first. So with Web3, NFTs, you know, that world that Mark Zuckerberg just left on us, just bombed on us. So the possibility of that is also so much. Like, you know, when crypto came in, people didn't understand it. The boom came and it also even went away. So NFT right now has hit its boom. So when I talk about that, and in terms of fashion, what you could do is we don't need to go to the shop and, you know, try on different things. We can just get our avatar and then put ourselves in that virtual shop. If the brand, you know, has converted themselves into a virtual store, your avatar could wear those clothes and you could check the fit, and you don't have to go with the hassle of, you know, the returning the clothes or even talking to salesmen per se, right? So you skip that part, and if you are an introvert, then that's perfect for you. But moving on, I would really want, you know, our local artists to, you know, invest time in learning about digital, because it does obviously, everything does come with its cons, but you need to focus on the pros, and you need to excel on things that you connect with, that inspire you. So if you do that, if you get into a field that you know you like, then you are going to excel at it at, you know, any point in time. And it's not the matter of when you'll excel, but it is that you will excel. So you keep going and you do that hard work, you do the grind, because that is what it is.